Hello and welcome to the Perfect Genetics Challenge, Generation 2, Episode 17. And Flora Flower has just aged up to teen. And Flora is an imaginary friend made real, and her previous owner was Charlie, also recently aged up to teen. Now this episode is starting at the spot where that previous episode ended. Flora was just walking out to eat her cake in the snow when the previous episode closed. And before Flora aged up, Elsie's imaginary friend made real, Pamela, had her party to age up to teen as well. Now Elsie and Charlie are the teenage children of this household, so they will be staying here after all of the visitors have moved out, including all of the recently aged up to young adult from teenage Sims that are going to be moving to Vice City. Most of them will be moving in the next episode. We will be going to Vice City in this episode and leaving the newly aged up young adults in Vice City. Now this household is in Mountain Lake and this 7-day winter has just begun. I wasn't really prepared for the snow. Looks interesting though. They all seem to be happy enough sitting out there eating in the snow. The owners of this household are Gary and Donna Flower Walker. Donna is a fairy and Gary is the eldest son of our founder Olivia and her husband Don. And we came here especially to age up two children of this household, Elsie and Charlie, because their cousins had just aged up to teen, and the cousins had been born at about the same time as Elsie and Charlie had. Well, I think Elsie and Charlie had been born a few days before the cousins that had just aged up to teen, so I thought we need to come here and keep them in the lockstep with their aging. It looks like Daryl and Max there having a pillow fight. Daryl, of course, is the eldest son of Cindy and Bill. Cindy isn't here. She was or is the heir of Olivia, and she's got her own heir now, but her heir is still a child. The school bus has arrived. That house there, the closest, that's where we're going to be moving to in the next episode. That's James's house, and James is the second eldest son of Olivia and Don, and he's got 4 children that are ready to age up to teen, so we'll age them up, but we won't have to train them because they've already just about done all the training that they need to do. And then we'll be moving down the end of the street with a house that's often invisible. There's a lot of Sims in there that will need to age up to various ages, and we'll see what else they need to do. I think some of them will go to Vice City as well. That's a very roomy house. It fits on a very small lot that I made myself. It's one of my builds, and it's in my studio if you're interested in looking. We'll have a bit of a look through it in the next episode. It's being invisible in this world. I think I could probably fix that by bulldozing the lot and replacing it. Now that the children and teens have all gone to school, the young adults at home can work on their skills. I've put Paul into the sculpting career so I could keep him at home instead of having him go off to work, because I don't want to play any of those careers. Paul is one of the ones that's going to move to Vice City during this episode. I'm trying to get him to sculpt as much as possible. He's doing 5 sculptures in each of the different mediums he's done. 5 clay, now he's doing 5 wood. That's Don and Gary having a chat there. That's father and son. Gary, of course, is the eldest son of Olivia and Don, and he is the father of Elsie and Charlie, the 2 little fairies that have just aged up from child to teen and have now gone to school. And their imaginary friends made real have also aged up now to teen. And down in the bottom basement, Gary's wife Donna is reading some recipes. I suddenly decided that although she is already very well trained, that I might as well take the opportunity to get her to learn a few more things while we're staying at her house. Elsie's imaginary friend made real, Pamela, is sitting there reading in front of the TV, and beside her is Zach Durwood. He moved to Mountain Lake from Moonlit Falls. He's one of the townies that came with that world. He's obviously visiting this household at the moment. He must have come home from school with someone. He got up and started criticising the artwork on the walls, and I came to the conclusion that he must have the avant-garde trait. Upstairs, 2 cakes have been set out for the 2 remaining children who need to age up to teen. And there's Abracadabra, the laundry gnome, just relaxing on the ironing board. Yes, Summer and Aurora Walker are still children, and we didn't have time to age them up in the last episode, so they're going to be aged up now. Now, Aurora and Summer are born and game imaginary friends, and their parents are Chaz and Prue Walker. And Chaz is the imaginary friend made real of Gary, who is Don and Olivia's eldest son, and Prue is the imaginary friend made real of James, who is Gary's younger brother who lives next door. So when I discovered that the game had given Chaz and Prue 2 little girls at the same time as the other children were being born here, the ones that have just aged up to teen, I decided to move them into this household temporarily so they could learn some skills and age up to teen as well. I discovered that they had a little sister, Bethany, but I'm not aging Bethany up because she's much younger, apparently. I don't know when she turned up in the game. She was just there when I arrived this time. The little girls have been working hard on their skills and their school grades while they've been living here, and I'm able to choose a trait for them. We aged Summer up first, and I really liked that hair, and she got trait of natural cook. I hope she enjoys it. And now it's cake eating time. I'm wondering if it's snowing outside. Probably is. I suppose they're all going to go, yep, they're going to change into their outerwear and go out and sit in the snow to eat the birthday cake. What a birthday party. I haven't had birthday parties like this before, outside in the snow. Little Bethany's going to sit there with her big sister to have cake, and Aurora, who is going to age up with the other cake that's sitting there waiting, has come over here to the big table to sit with Inventing Gnome that's standing there on guard. And that's Charlie, the son of the household who's just aged up to teen in the last episode. And that is Denise over there in the green jacket. 2 of them ended up with that jacket when I gave them a makeovers. Must be a very popular design. She is Cindy and Bill's eldest daughter. She would have been the heir, except she didn't get the right coloured eyes. But her little sister, who isn't in this household at the moment, did get the right eyes. So Cindy does have an heir, but the heir is still a child. So everybody's out there enjoying their cake. I really liked that hairstyle that Summer got when she aged up. Unfortunately, when I was giving her new outfits in Stylist, when I added career outfit, it deleted that hair and gave her a different hairstyle, and I wasn't able to find it again. So once she's had a makeover, she's going to have different looking hair, but I did eventually track down a hair that's very similar. So you'll see her with a few different hairstyles before she finally settles down to the one that I've ended up leaving her with. Now here is Aurora ready to blow out her candles. This will be the final birthday party for this episode. There's been a lot of birthdays. Most of the Sims in this household have aged up in the last 2 or 3 episodes. But this is the final birthday we're having until we move to another household, which will be in the next episode. Now the candles have blown out and now she's ready to spin into her teenage form. And there she goes. Since she's been in this household, she has done well in school, got up to grade A, and she's completed all of her compulsory childhood skills. Plus she's learnt lots of other skills, read lots of fishing books, made lots of potions. She's a very skilled little Sim, and now she's got a new trait, and she got nurturing. And now it's time for everybody to go out into the snow so they can eat their birthday cake. I think she can keep that hairstyle as well. She went from one extreme to the other, a very messy mop top to very sleek pulled back hair. She'll be going home soon to her parents. Oh yes, that is Paul and Elsie there. Elsie's got the same jacket that Denise has got, that green jacket. That's Flora sitting there with the Gnome of Invention on the table. She is Charlie's imaginary friend made real and has just recently aged up to 10. And the one behind in the green top, that is Elsie. Meanwhile, indoors, some of the Sims who missed out on cake are still standing around the table, wondering and hoping. There's Don washing his dishes at the icy sink, and the laundry gnome is sitting on the dryer. I think that's the dryer. Down in the basement, Daryl is giving a massage to Summer, but I'm going to interrupt the massage because she needs to have her makeover, and when we see her again, her hair will be different, even though I did try to keep it. Upstairs, Daryl's imaginary friend made real, Byron, is working on the computer, and little Bethany is playing with the doll's house. Bethany seems to like to play with toys whenever she's got an idle moment. At least I don't see her constantly trying to hold court, which is a great improvement. Most of the Sims are focusing on reading or working on skills, so I will just show you little bits and pieces here and there, otherwise this video will be days long and you don't want to watch that. This pair, mother and daughter, are having a lovely time. Donna, the redhead, is the mother, and she's got a few preferred idle activities, which is, at least she gives variety, but she seems to prefer the group science project more than anything, but she does do a lot of dancing and looks cute having the pair of them here dancing together. And there's Gary, Donna's husband, doing a bit of exercise, and that's Summer with one of her new hairstyles. She won't be keeping that one for long because I wasn't really happy with it. It looked okay in Stylist, but it's not sufficiently close to the hairstyle that she had when she aged up. So she'll be going back into Stylist for another look, another new hairstyle. You can tell that Gary is Don's son because he's got Don's green skin, but he loves to exercise and he's building up a lot of muscle. He and Max have really developed a lot of muscle in this household. Found something for Gary and Pamela to read, so they sat down next to Summer on the chair. That, by the way, is a chair from the Katy Perry Sweet Treats stuff pack. Bethany's working on her logic skill. I'll get her making potions shortly, and then she'll really get into learning logic. Suddenly and unexpectedly, everybody's jumping into taxis. It looks like it's time for Paul's graduation. We'll meet up at City Hall and see how things are going there. There's not much activity out front. Some of them are still filing into the building because everybody's got to go to the graduation. Looks like Pamela, Byron and Aurora are the last three to get in. Let's have a quick look at it from the outside in the snow and then wait for them to emerge after the graduation ceremony is over. I'm not sure if Max had a graduation now as well. I think that could even be Max standing there. It should have been Max and Paul, but I only saw Paul getting ready to go, and I think that is Max. It looks like an alien standing there in his graduation robes. I think Paul changed out of his graduation robes and spun into his outdoor outfit just before he jumped into the taxi, so I don't know what's going on. Some sort of a glitch happened there, I think. Donna was so excited she decided to do a snow angel. Lucky I changed the style of her wedding dress because that is her ex-wedding dress that I recoloured that she's wearing now as her formal outfit. She had another formal outfit that I made for her, but she prefers this one. Paul headed off into town and there he is having a chat with Branch Timberley. Branch Timberley came from Moonlit Falls. He's a townie that I moved to Mountain Lakes to make some more room in Moonlit Falls. Keeps popping up all over the place in this world. I'm not sure if he's one of the original Sims that came with Moonlit Falls or if he was just one that the game added at some point, but that's where I got him from. He was in Moonlit Falls. Some of the teens managed to get to the prom this time. I think some of them got left behind, but here they are setting off. We might get to see some of their new formal outfits when they come home. It looks like most of them made it. There's quite a few of them getting out of the limo at that point, but they're all in their outdoor outfits right now. So that could be the whole population of teens that we have in the household at the moment. There's quite a few of them. Oh look, there's Paul in his graduation outfit. I thought he had missed out on that. But there it is. He did graduate. There's Patricia in her formal outfit. I think that's another one from Katy Perry's Sweet Treats. I've never used that dress before. Of course, Patricia is Petunia's imaginary friend made real. And there's Max in his graduation outfit chatting with his father Don, because Don had several alien pregnancies and Max resulted from one of them. There will be no more alien pregnancies because I banned them from using an NRAS mod. So quite a few settings I had to change, but it was very successful. We stopped getting alien babies. Here's another quick look at Patricia's formal outfit. We've got quite a gathering at the foot of the stairs now, and this is the bottom basement. We've got Elsie and Denise and Charlie and Max, and that's Pamela in the blue outfit that just walked across there. It turns out that I've given that outfit to two of them, or at least two of them have ended up with that same formal outfit. I've decided not to worry too much about it because I won't be playing with them for very much longer, but I don't usually do that sort of thing. Aha, Bethany has just discovered a potion. See, I told you I was going to get her to work making potions. She's the only one who's not going to age up to teen. She's going to go back home. Well, she's still a child, but she'll have a lot of skills and ready to age up to teen next time I visit this world. And that's Daryl just walked out of that sarcophagus. He's been having a sleep in there. And Denise is working hard on the laundry. Oh, and look at Bethany, she's on a roll. Got another potion that she's discovered. Looks like Denise has given up on that laundry. Have to do something about that. Elsie's trying to get the final couple of points for her fishing skill. She needs to get to level 7. I think I've got a mod that encourages them to heat up their food in the microwave when they get it out of the fridge. But sometimes there's an issue when there's somebody just standing in front of the microwave dreaming about nothing in particular. Okay, that's Summer still in her hair that I didn't like. This sink is giving Sims lots of opportunities to practice their handiness skill. I did replace it at least once. I think I finally have to get somebody to upgrade it so that it won't break. Here's Aurora and Riley having a chat. Aurora is a born-in-game imaginary friend, and Riley is Denise's imaginary friend made real. And Riley's going to be returning to Appaloosa Plains eventually, but Aurora lives and was born in this world, so she's just going to go home to live with her parents, along with her two sisters, Summer and Bethany. There's Don dressed up ready for work. When I brought him along here, I was hoping that he might get his lifetime wish, which was to become a celebrated 5-star chef. And he did that, and then I realised he wouldn't be able to take his fridge home with him, it'd have to stay here. But then I thought that doesn't matter, they've already got one at home, because Olivia became a celebrated 5-star chef ages ago, some part in the middle of Generation 1. So they've already got the special fridge that is the reward for getting to the level of celebrated 5-star chef in the culinary career. I wondered what Charlie was up to. He was walking with a purpose, and I found out what he was going to do. He wanted to go for a train ride. And being a fairy, he can do that. So there he goes on the train. I hope he had a really good time and a fun ride on the train. Meanwhile, outdoors, Aurora is having her own fun. She's just built a snowman, learned how to make a classic snowman. I've noticed several of the Sims are getting into that autonomously recently. It'll soon be spring, so the snow isn't going to stay for very much longer. I discovered Flora had started learning a little bit about pool. This is a great house for them to be in to learn things, because there are so many activities that they can get up to autonomously that will teach them a few extra little skills. And on the other end of the room, Elsie is getting some dancing practice. And upstairs, Charlie is learning something by reading it on his tablet, and Bethany is having something to eat. Daryl's taking advantage of some of recipes that he's learned while improving his cooking skill with having some practical experience. Down in the bottom basement, Summer is working on her fishing skill, and she's got her final hair. That's the hair she's going to keep. And behind her at the chess table is her sister, Aurora, who is reading something. I've told her she's got to read so she can prepare to leave for home shortly. But they won't be leaving until the next episode. The Spring Festival has arrived, and some members of the household have gone to search for eggs and otherwise have some fun at the Spring Festival. Now, I was all set to take the young adults to live in Vice City when Paul got an opportunity that I didn't want him to miss, and I didn't want to have to hang around in Vice City until he got the opportunity. Even if he didn't lose it on the way, he probably would have lost it on the way. And he needs to deliver 6 outstanding quality cheeses, and they had 3 excellent cheese in one of their storage containers. So he dug out those 3 and he planted them, and now he is taking great care, fertilising them and talking to them. Meanwhile, back at the Spring Festival, it was getting dark, but our little Sims were still thoroughly enjoying themselves. Since it was getting so late, I decided I'd send them all home. Fortunately, nobody got arrested for being out after curfew. I don't think it was really after curfew just yet. They were all teens, all young adults now. When they got home, they did their usual thing. They hung out in the sand pit and chatted with each other. Seems to be quite a fun thing that they often are caught doing. If I'm looking for a sim, it's always useful to go checking out the sand pit, see what they're up to. But I'm going to have these little sims reading very soon. I've got to the point where I am making them read extra skill books because they've read all of their recipe and fishing books, fishing bait books by now. Paul's making satisfactory progress on his sculpting. He's now worked his way up to working on stone. He's not going to get to the point where he can make ice sculptures that never melt. He is making progress, but it's not always smooth progress. Sometimes he has a little mishaps. The stone explodes occasionally. Sometimes he gets a gem when that happens, and sometimes he doesn't. He's got to keep his eye on those cheese plants. He does eventually manage to pick all 6 of the outstanding quality cheeses, and he delivers them, and now he will be able to plant steak and patty plants when he gets to Vice City. He got those outstanding cheeses rather quickly. There are some good fishing spots down the hill behind their house at the edge of the lake, and I often send Bethany there so she can get some fishing experience. She can't use the wishing well inside the house, and I didn't build a pool for them, so all of her fishing has to be done here. But she's learning enough to be able to read a few of the fishing bait books. And there's Denise on the other side of this part of the lake, and she's just doing a bit of fishing. When it gets a bit dark, I'll send them home. It was getting to be way too late for little Sims to be out and about when I came across Don at a cafe telling a ghost story to a paparazzi and to little Pixie Cooper Walker. Pixie lives in the house next door, and we will meet up with them in probably the next episode when Don and the remainder of his travelling group move next door from Gary's house to James's house. Pixie is one of the little imaginary friends made real, and his owner was Betty, who you will meet in the next episode. And there's quads living there, and they've all got to age up to teen, and they have 4 imaginary friends made real who will also age up to teen, but they've mostly all been trained, so you won't have to do much reading or learning of skills before we move on to the next house. Looks like there's a fairy house party going on down in the basement. I don't know who's in there, but I'm sure they're having lots of fun. Paul is still sculpting. He's got one thing that exploded and left him with a gem. That's one of my favourite sculptures, is that big pot plant out of stone. And I like how there's different types of stone that they use. Now, Gary's lifetime wish is to become a master musician, and he had got up to level 5 in the magician career when I left him in this world. When we came back this time, somehow or other he'd been changed to the music career, and he was in level 1 at the music career. So I thought, while I'm still here, I will put him back into the magician career. So I'd placed Verdi Park into this world instead of Performance Park, and I sent Gary there to talk to the proprietor, to make friends with the proprietor and then join the magician career again. And then he will go to the Spring Festival, which is in a different location, and start performing for tips. And hopefully he will get close to level 5 at the magician career again, and this time I hope he won't quit it and go and do something else while I've left him here. I allowed Paul to get out of the house away from his sculpting for a while. Might get rid of his stir-crazy moodlet if he stays here for long enough. And he's gone looking for eggs. There's lots of eggs lying around at the Spring Festival, and he seems to be enjoying picking them up. Good on you, Paul. Occasionally he misses out on an egg that he was going to pick up because one of the townies beats him to it. He's a bit sad when that happens. Meanwhile, Gary has turned up at the park in his magician outfit, and he started performing for tips. And the sim there in the white suit, that is Gary's younger brother, Owen. He lives on his own in a house in town, and I think that sim in the dark outfit with the patent pants on is Gary's imaginary friend made real, Chaz, who is the father of Summer and Aurora and Bethany. And the one in the policeman's outfit, he came from Moonlit Falls. I can't remember his name at the moment, but he one of the Sims that belong there. But I brought him over here when I was populating this world. Bought quite a lot of townies from Moonlit Falls here. Back at home, several of the young Sims are doing activities to improve their skill level. Daryl's there repairing the hi-fi, and he obviously had a wish and he just got 250 lifetime happiness points for fixing it. A couple of them are writing novels or stories that they had a wish to write or an opportunity to write, but we are preparing to head off to Vice City now. The teens will all be staying home, and so will little Bethany, but they're cramming, all racing to get as much study done as they possibly can, because they'll be moving out of this house and some of them will be going home as soon as the trip to Vice City is ended and Don comes back here alone. So we've got about 4 minutes of this video left to go, so we'd better take off if we're going to Vice City, but we probably won't get home again until the next episode. And here we are in Vice City at the base camp. That's a building that I just turned into a base camp. It was already there. I took the travellers up to the top level of the base camp. It hasn't been decorated yet. This is just as I found it. They are from left to right: Petunia, Don, Paul, Max and Patricia. Don, of course, will be returning. He's just took them there for the journey, and the other 4 are going to be placed each into their own home. Since it's so close to the end of the video, I'll just give you an overview of their houses and where they live in relation to the other Sims that have previously been sent to live here. Barbara lives in one of those tall buildings there, and the others are just across the water in a little group of houses where they're all together. We'll just zoom down. These 6 houses are where Bart and Martin and Carolyn Price and Mary and Win Holden, which used to be Barbara's house, and at the very end on the right hand side is where Petunia lives. That little house in the middle there is Patricia's new house, and this group of 4 houses, the 2 on the left, are where Max and Paul have moved. So they're all placed close to each other. As soon as I placed some of them into their homes, the 4 young males got together excitedly. Max and Martin are there on the left, the 2 brothers, chatting to each other. Martin's been here for ages and Max has just arrived. And on the right we've got Bart and Paul, who are the imaginary friends made real of Martin and Max. And they haven't seen each other for a while either. So they've gone into Martin's house, which is just across the street from where Win Holden lives. Now we'll go across the street and say a very quick hello to Mary. Thank you for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have enjoyed it, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed, well then it'd be a good idea to do that if you'd like to see more details of what happens next. And I appreciate it greatly, everybody who has subscribed. And this is Barbara's place. She's got a ground floor apartment in that tall building, and that is her little green Twizy parked out the front. Barbara is Mary's imaginary friend made real. We will have a look at everybody at the beginning of the next episode. So bye bye for now. Thank you for watching and happy simming.